The curse. Great heavens above us would startle us from our plodding and earthly course. But we are not insensible brutes who can refuse the call of rea-son and conscience. The soul is capable of remorse. When the great dispensations of life press down upon us, we weep and suffer and sorrow. In sorrow and agony desire other companionships than worldliness and irreligion. We are not willing to bear those burdens of the heart, fear, anxiety, disappointment, and trouble without any object or use. We are not willing to suffer, to be sick and afflicted, to have our days and months lost to comfort and joy and overshadowed with calamity and grief, without advantage or compensation, to barter away the dearest treasures, the very sufferings of the heart, to sell the lifeblood from failing frame and fading cheek, our tears of bitterness and groans of anguish, for nothing. Human nature, frail, feeling, sensitive, and sorrowing, cannot bear to suffer for naught. Everywhere, human life is a great and solemn dispensation. Man, suffering, enjoying, loving, hating, hoping, and fearing, chained to the earth and yet exploring the far recesses of the universe, has the power to commune with God and his angels. Around this great action of existence, the curtains of time are drawn, but there are openings through them which give us glimpses of eternity. God looks down upon this scene of human probation. The wise and the good in all ages have interposed for it, with their teachings and their blood. Everything that exists around us, every movement in nature, every counsel of providence, every interposition of God, centers upon one point: the fidelity of man. And even if the ghosts of the departed and remembered could come at midnight through the barred doors of our dwellings, and the shrouded dead should glide through the aisles of our churches and sit in our Masonic temples, their teachings would be no more eloquent and impressive than the dread realities of life, than those memories of misspent years, those ghosts of departed opportunities that, pointing to our conscience and eternity, cry continually in our ears, "Work while the day lasts, for the night of death cometh, in which no man can work." There are no tokens of public mourning for the calamity of the soul. Men weep when the body dies, and when it is borne to its rest, they follow it with sad and mournful procession. But for the dying soul there is no open lamentation. For the lost soul there are no obsequies. And yet the mind and soul of man have a value which nothing else has. They are worth a care which nothing else is worth. And to the single, solitary individual, they ought to possess an interest which nothing else possesses. The stored treasures of the heart, the unfathomable minds that are in the soul to be wrought, the broad and boundless realms of thought, the freighted argosy of man's hopes and best affections, are brighter than gold and dearer than treasure. And yet the mind is in reality little known or considered. It is all which man permanently is: his inward being, his divine energy, his immortal thought, his boundless capacity, his infinite aspiration, and nevertheless, few value it for what it is worth. Few see a brother mind in others, through the rags with which poverty has clothed it, beneath the crushing burdens of life, amidst the close pressure of worldly troubles, wants and sorrows. Few acknowledge and cheer it in that humble blot, and feel that the nobility of earth and the commencing glory of heaven are there. Men do not feel the worth of their own souls. They are proud of their mental powers, but the intrinsic inner infinite worth of their own minds they do not perceive. The poor man, admitted to a palace, feels, lofty and immortal being as he is, like a mere ordinary thing amid the splendors that surround him. He sees the carriage of wealth roll by him, and forgets the intrinsic and eternal dignity of his own mind in a poor and degrading envy, and feels as an humbler creature, because others are above him, not in mind, but in mensuration. Men respect themselves, according as they are more wealthy, higher in rank or office, loftier in the world opinion, able to command more votes, more the favorites of the people or of power. The difference among men is not so much in their nature and intrinsic power as in the faculty of communication. Some have the capacity of uttering and embodying in words their thoughts. All men, more or less, feel those thoughts. The glory of genius and the rapture of virtue, when rightly revealed, are diffused and shared among unnumbered minds. When eloquence and poetry speak, when those glorious arts, statuary, painting, and music take audible or visible shape, when patriotism, charity, and virtue speak with a thrilling potency, the hearts of thousands glow with kindred joy and ecstasy. If it were not so, there would be no eloquence, for eloquence is that to which other hearts respond. It is the faculty and power of making other hearts respond. No one is so low or degraded as not sometimes to be touched with the beauty of goodness. No heart is made of materials so common or even base as not sometimes to respond through every chord of it to the call of honor, patriotism, generosity, and virtue. The poor African slave will die for the master or mistress or in defense of the children whom he loves. The poor, lost, scorned, abandoned, outcast woman will, without expectation of reward, nurse those who are dying on every hand, utter strangers to her, a contagious and horrid pestilence. The pickpocket will scale burning walls to rescue child or woman, unknown to him, from the ravenous flames.